Welcome back, horror fans, to another bone-chilling episode of Whispers in the Shadows. Our investigators have been pushed to the brink of madness by the eldritch forces that they have unleashed, and the consequences of their actions are becoming increasingly dire. In tonight's episode, they will face unspeakable horrors that threaten to consume their very souls. Will they be able to withstand the terror that awaits them, or will they succumb to the darkness that surrounds them? Stay tuned and find out in our feature presentation, coming up shortly. This is your host, signing off and wishing you pleasant nightmares. The investigators couldn't help but wonder if they had made the right choice. The investigators stood frozen in fear, their minds racing with the impossible decision they were being asked to make. They had made a deal with the Elder One, but they never expected it to come to this. They had already sacrificed an innocent life, and now they were being asked to sacrifice one of their own. As they stood there, the Elder One's presence seemed to grow stronger, its power radiating outwards and filling the temple. The investigators knew that they were outmatched, but they refused to give up without a fight. One of the investigators stepped forward, his hands shaking with fear. "We can't do this," he said. "We can't sacrifice one of our own." The Elder One's eyes narrowed, and its voice grew dark.
"You made a deal with me,"
it said.
"You knew the consequences. You knew that there would be a price to pay."
Another investigator stepped forward, his eyes filled with determination. "We made a mistake," he said. "But we won't make another one. We won't sacrifice one of our own for your twisted desires." The Elder One let out a low, menacing growl, and the ground beneath their feet began to shake. But the investigators stood their ground, determined to face whatever consequences may come. After a few moments of tense silence, the investigators came to a decision.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your radio host interrupting our scheduled drama, Whispers in the Shadows, to bring you an exciting announcement. Are you a gaming enthusiast looking for a YouTube channel that covers everything from game reviews to tutorials on the best mods for various games? Look no further than just all-in-one resource. This channel offers a wide range of resources, including step-by-step guides on configuring your own game servers for some of the most popular games out there. But that's not all. The channel also features fantastic audio stories created by a passionate game enthusiast with a great imagination. If you're looking for an escape from reality and want to immerse yourself in a world of adventure, then you need to check out Just All-in-One Resource. With a library of resources at your fingertips, you'll never run out of gaming content to explore. Head on over to YouTube and search for this fantastic channel, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest content. And now, back to our regularly scheduled program, Whispers in the Shadows.
They knew that they had to sacrifice one of their own to satisfy the Elder One's demands, but they also knew that they had to choose carefully. One of the investigators, a woman named Sarah, stepped forward. "I'll do it," she said. "I'll offer myself up to the Elder One." The other investigators protested, but Sarah stood firm. She knew that the sacrifice had to be made, and she was willing to make it for the sake of the others. The Elder One seemed pleased, and it motioned for Sarah to approach. She walked slowly towards the creature, her heart pounding in her chest. As she reached the Elder One, it lifted its massive hand and placed it on her forehead. Sarah felt a surge of power coursing through her body, and she knew that the sacrifice was complete. But as the Elder One began to withdraw its hand, something strange began to happen. Sarah's body began to glow with an otherworldly light, and she began to float into the air. The other investigators watched in horror as Sarah's body was consumed by the light, disappearing into nothingness. They knew that they had made a terrible mistake, that they had sacrificed one of their own for nothing. But as they stood there, staring at the empty space where Sarah had been, something began to change. The Elder One's power began to dissipate, and the temple began to crumble around them. The investigators ran for their lives, scrambling to escape the collapsing temple. As they burst out into the daylight, they could see that the town of Arkham was in ruins, destroyed by the Elder One's power. And that is where Chapter 3 of the story ends.